Oh, hey, welcome to another edition of Growing Your Brains with Mike Hernandez and the TerraCycle team. In this edition of Growing Your Brains, we're going to show you how to install your brand new winter mount.
So what is the WINTR fairing kit? The WINTR fairing kit is TerraCycle's innovative and easy to use system for mounting a front fairing on your bike or trike. WINTR stands for weather inhibiting and travel ready. It helps keep you more comfortable, more aero, and is easy to install and use. Included in your winter kit is all the necessary hardware for installation as well as your fairing bubble. And if you need a hand installing your new winter mount, go ahead and consult your local bike shop. And for more technical information, search WINTR, W-I-N-T-R, at t-cycle.com. Oh, and a big thanks to Robert from Rose City Recumbent Cycles for letting us use his trike in this video.
It's going to come to you in the mail looking something like this. The tools that you're going to need for this job are a 4mm Allen key, a 5mm Allen key, a 10mm box end wrench, and a level may also be handy to make sure your mount is true and plumb. If you're ready to order your very own winter mount, you'll need to know what size clamp to select from the drop-down menu on our website. And for that, you'll need some sort of measuring tool. You can use calipers to measure the diameter, or use a tape measure to measure around the tube and divide by pi. That's 3.141592653, etc.
Hey, I'm just one Raina, and this is going to be just one tip. If you need to measure some tubing, but you don't have a measuring tool at home, we've got you covered. Our handy tubing diameter measuring tool is available at t-cycle.com/tube measuring tool. Be sure to print it out at 100%. You can check the size accuracy against a $1 bill. Simply cut out your measuring tool, like I have with this one, and get out there and measure some tubes.
This particular trike uses an 1 5/8" diameter boom tube. Now determine where you want to place your winter mount on your trike. We find that placing it as close to your front derailleur post works the best. Watch out for obstructions such as bosses and other clamps and hardware when determining placement. I'm going to put it right about here. And then temporarily install the frame mount clamp. I've already prepped my frame mount clamp by loosely inserting the bolts. And now I just need to be sure that the clamp bolts face the drive side of the trike. Before installing the mount onto the trike, we're going to install the lower portion to the mount. Pull the lower portion out of your plastic. Unscrew the nuts from the bolts. Pull the bolts out. And put them through the lower portion of the mount. The bolt with the big washer goes into the slot, and with the regular size washer goes into the hole. Put your lower spacer block through, and then install the lower mount so that the long portion faces the slot. You can leave this loose because we will make an adjustments to it later when installing the fairing. Now install the WINTR mount onto the frame clamp with the 5mm Allen wrench using the provided M6 by 16 bolts. One thing to keep in mind is that we want everything level. If your trike is on level ground, you can use either of these machine surfaces to check the level of the mount. Or, after the mount is installed, you can use the surfaces of the necktie to check as well. Or, you can just eyeball it. It's really up to you. Now place the crossbar into the 7/8 2-bolt wedge T-clamp on top of the mount. Remove the M5 bolts and place the crossbar as close to center as possible. Clamp the crossbar in place, but keep in mind that we may have to loosen the T-clamp and twist the crossbar in a minute. Now to install your fairing. Install the mounting bolts through the fairing holes so that the rubber and plastic washers are under the head of the bolt and the rubber nut is on the inside of the fairing. Now unroll your fairing and place your mounting bolts with rubber nuts into the crossbar. Tighten down the nuts, tighten down the bolts, and give them a little tug so that you know that they're secure. Now install the lower mounting hardware for the fairing. And you want to ensure that these stainless steel mounts are nice and loose. Tighten down the bolt until you see the rubber start to mushroom. And there you go. Now we need to adjust our crossbar. The crossbar needs to be perpendicular to the fairing, and as you can see from my quick installation, I got it way off. But that's okay. Simply loosen the M5 bolts with your 4mm Allen wrench on the 7/8 2-bolt wedge T-clamp, and rotate the crossbar until it's perpendicular. Loosen your upper mounting hardware and reinstall for the ultimate fit. Now it's time to fit the fairing to your body. For this step, I'm going to get my illustrious assistant, Kaz. Hey, Kaz!
Hey, Mike. Yeah.
Whoa!
Drop your pie.
Ah, thanks.
What you need?
It's time to finish installing. It's time to finish installing the fairing.
How do you get into this thing? Oh, touche.
First, we're going to adjust foot clearances. There are 2 points of adjustment. One, use a 5mm Allen wrench and loosen this collar clamp and move the stinger tube in or out. 2, use a 5mm Allen wrench and a 10mm box end wrench to loosen these two bolts and adjust the angle up and down. We recommend about 4 inches of ground clearance from the fairing to the ground, about 2 inches of ground clearance between your foot and the end of the fairing, and then about a 1/2 inch between your foot and the top of the fairing. Okay, let's do this. Now let's check our knee clearance. In order to raise or lower the fairing, use a 5mm Allen wrench to loosen this collar clamp here. We recommend about a 1/2 inch of clearance between the top of your knee and the fairing. Okay, let's do it. Now that we've achieved proper clearances, let's make sure our fairing is seated properly. First, we want the end of our bubble to be at about a 45-degree angle from the ground. We were close, but we need to pull our stinger tube out some to get there. Next, let's re-examine the perpendicularity of the crossbar and the fairing. Finally, we're going to set the backstop of the folding mechanism. To do that, loosen this M6 bolt with your 5mm Allen wrench and move the fairing to the desired position. Keep in mind that you should always be looking over the fairing and not through it. When in position, flip the pivot cap until it's contacting the set screw backstop. Then tighten the M6 bolt. One final note, the M5 bolt in the center of the mount controls the friction of the fold. The tighter you screw in that bolt, the harder it will be to move your fairing back and forth. One thing that makes the WINTR fairing kit truly special is how easy it is to transfer, hence travel ready. 4 rubber nuts and 2 M6 bolts are all it takes to remove the WINTR fairing kit. It's so simple that by installing a frame clamp on another trike, you can transfer the entire kit over in a matter of minutes. Now allow me to demonstrate and let's see how quickly I can nail it. Well, folks, that's it for this edition of Growing Your Brains. Now get out there and enjoy your winter.
Hi, my name is Mike.
Hi, my name is Mike.
This is TerraCycle.
This is TerraCycle.
T-Cycle.
I mean T-Cycle.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
No, don't say the part.
Don't say that part.